Harry Carey back at Three Rivers Stadium. Here quickly are the lineups for the Cubs. Dernier in center. Sandberg at second. Matthews in left. Moreland in right. Say at third. Davis the catcher. Durham at first. Boa the shortstop. Sutcliffe 15-1 the pitcher for the Pirates. Joe Ursulak in left field. Lee Lacy in left field. Ursulak is playing center. Johnny Ray at second base, Thompson at first, Pena the catcher, Morrison at third, Frobel in right, Wotus the shortstop, Larry McWilliams the pitcher, Lee Wire the plate umpire, Dutch Rennert at first, Eddie Montague at second, Eric Gregg at third. First pitch of the ball game swung. Dribbler Wotus up, throwing in time. On the first pitch, Bobby Dernier rolls out to Ron Wotus playing shortstop. Now, Arnie Harris, our producer-director, is in the truck. He has telephonic contact with Bill Webb, who's his counterpart on the Mets television. So we are going to keep you up to date on the Mets game with the Phillies at the same time as you watch the Cubs playing the Pirates. Here's Ryne Sandberg. There's the first pitch. He drills it left field. He'll go for two, and there he goes on his way to second. Where the double? Boy, oh boy, had Lacy not cut that ball off, Sandberg would have had that 20th triple. Lacy on the dead run cuts it off, keeps it from going to the wall.
The outfield is wet in Pittsburgh, and this ball could have easily skipped to the wall, but Lee Lacy, who's had a great last month, hustles into the corner and keeps Sandberg at second. The Pirates have won 6 games in a row, 3 with Dale Berra at shortstop and 3 with Ron Wotus. Dale Berra had that infected elbow. Now they found there's a bone chip in the elbow, so whether he plays or not the rest of this year is questionable.
Here's Gary Matthews, a man in scoring position, 1 out. You know, Sandberg needs only 8 hits, which he'll get. A triple and a homer, which would be much more difficult for him to get, because it's hard to get triples. He would become the only player in baseball history to have ever had 200 hits, 20 or more doubles, 20 or more triples, 20 or more homers, and 20 or more stolen bases. The pitch. A high pop foul back to count even. A ball and a strike. Juan Samuel just started the ball game for the Phillies with a home run. They're out in front 1-0. Here's the pitch in the side. Swung and missed. A slow curve. We all feel that the Phillies are going to beat the Mets tonight. They have John Denny going for them. The Phillies do. But the Cubs want to win it with a victory. Here's a pitch swung. Line drive, base hit. And the Cubs will be in front 1-0. The Sarge does it again. Matthews 82nd. RBI of the year. 1-0, and listen to the Cub fan.
Matthews, with both game-winning hits in a doubleheader yesterday, puts the Cubs on top. Jim Frey before the game said that over the last 2 months, the most valuable player on this ball club is undoubtedly Gary Matthews. He has been the spark plug for the Cubs, and there you can see the bench. They are a purposeful crew tonight.
Here now is Keith Moreland. Arnie's going to show you this crowd, and then I'm going to read you some notes. And then you can decide for yourself how big a percentage of this crowd are Chicago fans. They're here from Racine, Wisconsin, the Exners, and Alfreda Patsky. They're here from Illinois State University. Drove up last night. Lee Finter, Brent Moore, Carl Peters, Tim McCann, and Rob Chabot. There's a strike called over the outside corner. They're here. The singing waiters of Glenview are here. They drove all the way in to see the ball game. They signed that message, the singing waiters of Glenview, as a cue for who they are. A ball and a strike. I don't know who they are myself, but I guess When I said the singing waiters of Glenview, whomever they want to know or that they're here will know. Throw over to first, the runner back. Mike Murphy here from Chicago. Joe Javlowski, John Mays, and Keith Kowalski are here from Northern Illinois University. Outside to Moreland. Laura Reindak, a friend of Yosh Kawana, is here from Chicago. Mets are batting in the bottom of the first. Phillies lead 1-0. Here's Moreland taking it low. Ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. There's our 7th camera in use tonight, directly behind home plate at a lower level. Strike call over the outside corner. Bob and Sean Gorman from Largo, Florida.
This is a good time to send the base runner. Try to stay out of the double play.
There goes the runner, a high pop fly, sharp left center. Who's going to get it? And Ursulak makes the catch. Joe Ursulak, the center fielder, a rookie. Makes the running catch.
Ursulak has a much better arm than Marvell Wynn, and he's got great speed. Here he takes over for Lee Lacy. Trips after making a fine catch, but Matthews, who was running, has to hustle back to first base.
11 students are here from the University of Illinois. Willie, Jason, Brad, Sean, Ed, Brian, Yale, Doug, and Bill Roundtree. They drove 500 miles to see the Cubbies clinch the division title, their note said.
They should have come in with the singing waiters. They wouldn't needed a radio.
Here's a curve a little bit high. Boy, I'm going to read all these notes just to give you an idea. And Arnie's going to show you everybody who's in the stand.
You can certainly do that with the Pittsburgh fans. They're on the first base side.
Here's a curve in there, a strike call. There'd be nobody here if it wasn't for these fans who came in to see the Cubs. Here's Ernie Engelhart, who used to live in Lisle, drove in from Columbus to see the Cubs clinch. There's a ground ball up the middle, a base hit. Here's Matthews pulling up at second base. Save. Singles to center. Here's Jody Davis hitting .259, 19 homers, 91 RBI. Listen to this crowd. Jody.
McWilliams is 1-2 this year against the Cubs. He beat Stoddard in that 11-6 game at Wrigley Field. Sutcliffe started that game. It looked for a while like he was going to have his 13-game winning streak snapped, but he got off the hook.
Now the stretch, the pitch. Low curveball inside, ball 1. You know, the Cubs have 6 players, Steve, with 80 or more RBIs. Say's got 96, Durham 95, Jody 91, Sandberg has 81, the Sarge has 82, and Moreland has 80. That's a lot of production up and down your batting order.
Probably the most remarkable out of all those RBIs is the fact that Moreland has gotten his RBI total to 80 because he didn't play a whole lot the first couple months of the season. He's had a very productive year since taking over from Al Hall.
And Sandberg, because he's batting second. There can only be one man on base the first time he comes to bat. 2 balls and a strike to count. They're here from East Chicago, Indiana, home of Tim Stoddard. Shirley and Christina Navarro, and Joe, Linda, and Jolie DeLeon. 2 balls and a strike. Pulled it foul outside third. 5 guys from Illinois State University are here. Johan, Jimmy, and Tony, and somebody else. Here's Jim.
Jim Wynn warming up already. We saw him in Chicago. He throws the ball pretty well. He threw 4 innings of relief against the Cubs in Wrigley.
Here's the pitch. Struck him out with a fastball. Jody Davis called out on strikes, didn't like it. 1 run out of all that. 3 hits. No errors. 2 left. We're going to the bottom of the first. The Cubs are leading 1-0. Harry Carey back at Three Rivers Stadium. You're getting a good look at the Red Baron. Rick Sutcliffe from Kansas City going for his 16th victory as a Cub. He's lost only one, shooting for his 14th in a row.
He's got an unusual motion. As you look at his wrist, he does what he calls wrist wrapping. There you can see it in back of him now, and there was a school of thought that said that you've got a lot of arm problems if you throw that way. A lot of people thought Sutcliffe would never be very successful in the major leagues because of that unorthodox delivery, but he could set a whole new trend if he has about 5 years more of success like this year.
There you see Chuck Tanner, the great manager of the Pirates. Jay Eck, who's assistant basketball coach at Pittsburgh, with his son Jason. They're both from Peoria originally. Jack?
You know, speaking of starting a trend, didn't Larson start a trend, that no windup trend with that no-hitter in the series? After that, nobody took the windup anymore.
There's a pitch high to Joe Orsulak. Charlie and Joanne Belfield from Peoria also here. Orsulak had a cut and he missed. Hey, there's Yosh Kawana. We have a camera in the clubhouse waiting for the happy moment when the Cubs have clinched the division title.
Now we can finally find out what Yosh does. I like that shot, Arnie.
The pitch on the way. Bouncing ball. Say's got it. Good throw. Get him. 1 out.
Orsulak is a very good defensive player, and the only question on the part of the Pirates is, can he hit major league pitching? Thus far, he has not been able to.
Listen to this note. We flew here after work, and our wives are probably wondering where we are. Please inform them we're in Pittsburgh to watch the Cubs clinch the pennant. Rob Rook, M-R-U-K, and John Woodruff, Lombard, Illinois. All right, gals, you can go out on the town now. They're here in Pittsburgh. Here's Lee Lacy. Strike call. The Mets have the bases loaded with nobody out in the first inning, with the Pirates leading, or rather with the Phillies leading 1-0. Foul back.
All of you Chicago fans who are concerned about Marvell Wynn, he's out of the lineup with a leg problem. He experienced it 3 games ago. That was the first game that he missed all year long, so Marvell, usually very durable, now is on a day-to-day basis. They're not too certain. They just don't want to take a chance with injuring him further.
Mary and Larry from Cicero are here pulling for the Cubs. There's a strike 3 call. Lacy called out on strike.
Harry, we're dealing with an umpire here who has a pretty big strike zone in Lee Wire, so it should be a good night for Sutcliffe. He works the corners, and this is the best umpire in the league for Rick to throw to. So you should see probably 10 or 12 strikeouts tonight from the big right-hander.
Well, the Mets are not going to take it lying down. Strawberry just tripled with the bases loaded. The Mets lead 3-1. If the Cubs are going to clinch it tonight, they got to win. 0-1 the count. Johnny Ray fouls it off. Bob Murphy from the south side of Chicago. That'll give you an idea. All these fans all have banners, notes. They're all from Chicago or environs. Pitch to Johnny Ray. A little bit low and inside. Scott Traylor from Overland Park, Kansas. Rick Sutcliffe comes from that area, as does Bobby Dernier. Here's the pitch. Bouncing ball. Sandberg's got it. 1, 2, 3 in the first. Nothing across. At the end of 1 inning, the Cubs are out in front, 1-0. With Jack Brickhouse and Steve Stone, Harry Carey back at Three Rivers Stadium as we go on to the top of the second. The Cubs are leading 1-0. Here's Leon Durham against Larry McWilliams. First pitch. Curveball a little bit high. David Johnson and Chris Morrison are here from Chicago. Now, time is called. Jim Harris from Minooka, Illinois, and Ken Gerling from Bradley, along with Michael Harris are here. 2 balls, no strike. Bradley, that's where Jack Brickhouse is on the board of directors, aren't you? Or trustee or something?
Yes, and Harry, we're making you an honorary trustee with the understanding that you're going to give us a little Harry Carey Foundation starting out with about $5 million.
I know you didn't get there by giving any money.
If I had yours, I would.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Hey, you're the only guy I know who cries with 2 loaves of bread under each arm. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Time is called. As soon as I get $5 million put together, though, I'm going to go for that, Jack. I'll call Pete Van Aken and get a loan. Here's a pitch a little high. Ball 3 now that he's the owner of the Peoria Chiefs, who will be associated with the Cubs next year. 3-2 pitch. A high pop foul out of play. Hey, Arnie, just pan the crowd so they'll get an idea from these many notes I'm reading what a big percentage of this crowd is from Chicago. Scott Pauls from Naperville is here.
Remember what I told you yesterday, Harry, that even though they don't have a 50,000 St. Louis crowd in Pittsburgh tonight, the Cub fans will make it sound like it.
Yeah. Here's a high pop foul. The shortstop orders. We didn't look too good on that. They may not give him an error, but they should. He should have caught it.
He didn't get to the ball in time. It looked like Jim Morrison was going to take over. Now Wotus comes over. He calls for it, but the ball drifts on him a little bit, hits off the end of his glove. That's a ball that he should have had. And Leon Durham gets another life.
They haven't indicated an error yet.
What a lot of people don't realize is that that field slopes to the left as you go out there. And I remember it costing Greg Gross very much in an opener here one time.
Here's a pitch, swung on, fly ball, short center field. It'll be caught. They have given Wotus an error for dropping the foul ball. And now Durham flies out, given a second chance to bat. Steve Chervinko from Berwyn is here.
McWilliams is working a little more slowly tonight than we've seen him in the past, but you still have to be ready in the batter's box.
Here's Larry Boa taking the strike. Bill Perry from Schaumburg. Andy Butler from Chicago and Matt Simons from Chicago are here. A ball and a strike to count. Larry Boa hitting .220. Batting only .132 against Pittsburgh pitching. Slider in there, a beauty. Strike call. Hayes foul tipped it. 1-2 the count. At the end of 1 inning, the Mets 4, the Phillies 1. Frank Amore from Chicago here to watch the Cubs. Here's a pitch a little bit inside. And Gary Stepina and Dick Krasinski from LaGrange came over to see the Cubs clinch. There's a bouncing ball. Morrison, long throw, wild throw. Bounces into the stands, and Boa will go to second base. They may give him a hit plus the error.
I got to believe it is a hit and an error. That's a tough play for Morrison, but he threw the ball over the head of 6'4" Jason Thompson. Boa getting out of the box, stumbling, still probably would beat the throw. Watch how high Thompson goes up and still can't come down with the ball. Would have been a bang-bang play, and as yet, they have not made a ruling.
It's a base hit.
It's got to be an error because he moved to second base.
That's right. And an error. That's 2 errors in this inning. Here's Sutcliffe, a good hitting pitcher. He's batting .245, no homers and 5 RBI. Has more hits than any other pitcher on the staff, 13. 1 ball, no strikes. Sutcliffe against the left-hander. Mets are leading the Phillies 4-1 at the end of 1. There's a strike call.
I got a letter for you, Harry. A gentleman writes me. His name is George Sakalaris. He said the best thing about his name is when you spell it backwards, it's Cyrillicus and still sounds Greek.
I never could understand why all Greek names end in S. There must be some reason for it. And I know a lot of wonderful Greek people, and nobody ever gives me a satisfactory answer.
How about Nick Nicholas? He could probably explain that to you.
Hey, all Nick can explain to you is the bottom line, which is always a hefty one, like all you restaurateurs do. Here's a pitch swung. Smash on the ground. In the center, a base hit. Here comes Boa. 2-0 Cubs. Sutcliffe drives in his 6th run of the year.
Sutcliffe got a base hit against McWilliams in Wrigley Field, so he must see the ball well. That's unusual. McWilliams is usually very tough on left-handers. This ball just grazes the glove of Johnny Ray, and Larry Boa scores. So the defense has opened the door for the Cubs this inning. The Pirates have had defensive deficiencies all year long.
Boy, I hope Sutcliffe has a real good game tonight. He always does, with rare exceptions. The reason I say that is because of all the media attention on this game of the Cubs, being able to clinch it with a victory, it would just about guarantee him the Cy Young Award with a good performance here tonight. Here's Bobby Dernier. First pitch inside.
Lee Tunnell was up and loosening up in the Pirate bullpen. Well, he'd be on the cover of all the magazines in the country if he wins this one, Harry.
Here's a ground ball to Sharp. Out at second. And out at third. Double play. Dernier, 6-4-3. 1 run, though, with 2 hits, 2 errors, and nobody left. We're going to the bottom of the 2nd. 2-0 in favor of the Cubs. Harry Carey back at Three Rivers Stadium. We're going to show you a play at first base. See if you don't think Dernier is safe here. Well, pretty close either way. We have the Penguin at third base, the Boa at short, Rhino at second, and Bull at third. The gang from Schwedas in Lake Zurich, Illinois, point that out. You're watching Chicago Cubs Championship Baseball over WGN Chicago Channel 9. America's #1 sports station, where every evening at 9 you see the news, and at 10:30 every night through the World Series, the Cubs final. Here's Jason Thompson leading it off. Matt and Joy down in Key West, Florida. There's a ground ball. Boa up, throwing. 4 in a row, retired by Sutcliffe. Got to bring up Tony Pena.
It's been remarkable that Pittsburgh has suddenly found their offense during the 6-game winning streak, which matches their longest of the year. And with Bill Madlock out of the lineup, this club has suddenly started to come alive offensively. They've had fine pitching all year, but they've got to trade some of those pitchers to get another quality power hitter on the club for next season.
The Andersons from Tampa. They're here from Fruit Heights, Utah. And from Kendallville, Indiana. All rooting for the Cup. Pena takes a curve outside. 1 ball, no strikes. They're from Erie, Pennsylvania, the Rowell family. Hey, he throws the bat. It almost lands in the Cub dugout.
Fortunately, it didn't go into the crowd or the dugout. It hit the facing of the dugout.
Hassey almost got creamed.
And all the water and ice spills all over the place. Hassey might have to go back on the DL. Dick Ruthven with the chart. That got messed up also.
The Real family. Helen, Tony, Deb, Diane, Gina, J.H., and Jane are all here pulling for the Cubs. Look at Ron Hasse.
It's a good thing he's not chewing tobacco. That could have ruined his whole night.
Anything but smoking a cigar, that would ruin everybody's whole night. A ball and a strike. 1 out. 2-0 in favor of the Cubs. The Mets are also winning 4-1.
I don't know, Harry. You better get that big cigar ready. This looks like it could be the night. Sutcliffe is awfully tough, and the Cubs are on top early.
A ball and a strike. The Herman family from Kent, Ohio is here.
There's been a little mix-up in the umpires that they handed us in the press section. Turn it around, Harry. You got Montague umpiring at first and Dutch Rennert at second.
Yeah, I recognize Dutch out there. But Lee Wire is working the plate. Here's the pitch. Low outside, and Eric Gregg, a ponderous form of a man, weighing about 300, is working at third base. 1 out, Tony Pena, the hitter. There's a high pop fly. Durham is there. He's got it. Some fan yells out, Harry, this Bud's for you.
No, the Bud will be for me. If they clinch it tonight, the cigar will be for you.
Well, you don't mind if I chase it down with a cold Budweiser, do you?
No, you can chase it down with anything.
2 men are out. Jim Morrison. There you see the Red Baron firing. Curveball a little bit low and outside. Morrison hitting .275 with 8 homers.
Barring a catastrophe, this is going to be Rick Sutcliffe's last start before the playoffs. They don't have him penciled in at all. They'd like him to get some rest. They feel he's just a little arm weary at this point of the season.
There's the pitch a little bit low. The Phillies got one the second inning, 4-2 now in favor of the Mets. Now the pitch to Morrison. High pop foul over near the stands and out of play. Our friendly mailman Robert C. Hayden Jr. wires in. Ron Cullinan and his son Joey are here from Chicago. And Jan and Joe Zalicki from Des Plaines.
Pirates were surprised by Sutcliffe in Wrigley Field. They said they realized he was a fastball pitcher, but he threw more breaking balls than they expected. He's thrown a lot of breaking balls again here tonight.
There's a pitch swung on, a high, towering fly ball. Will be caught. The Sarge is back, waiting, and he has it. 6 in a row retired by Sutcliffe. And at the end of 2 it remained. Cubs 2, Pirates nothing. With Jack Brickhouse and Steve Stone, Harry Carey back at Three Rivers Stadium. That'll give you an idea of the many Cub fans who made the trip over here from Chicago to be in on the kill. Cubs plus WGN. Mary Ben from Highland Park, Dave Waxman from Munster, Indiana, from the University of Pennsylvania Law School, drove in from Philly to see his history made today. There's some more, the many signs. Here we go. Here's Sandberg. Curveball outside. Maureen Skipper and Ken Carbelling drove in from Chicago just to see the game. Here's a base hit down the left field line into the corner. Here goes Sandberg. Can he make him dribble out of it? No, he stops at second base. 2 doubles in a row for Reno.
Harry, if he was thinking about the record, he would have tried, because Lee Lacy did bobble the ball in left field. This really shows you where Sandberg's priorities really lie. He wants the Cubs to win. Watch what happens to Lacy as the ball goes into the corner. It comes off the wall. It's an automatic double, but now Lee botches it a little bit. Sandberg might have been able to make the turn because Lacy doesn't have that strong of an arm, but he stays at second, realizing that there's nobody out.
So here now is the Sarge who drove in the first run of the ball game, and if the Cubs lead holds, he would have gained his 19th game-winning RBI. He already leads the National League in that department. There's a fastball high. Wilma Knapp and Margot Chartridge and John Chartridge are here pulling for the Cubs. Good fastball. This McWilliams has a good live arm. Ray Lindemann drove in from Clearwater, Florida to see the Cubs clinch. A ball and a strike. High fastball inside. They're showing this game at Shea Stadium on their big Diamond Vision board. Bill Webb, who is the counterpart on the Mets television of the great Arnie Harris on ours, and he and Arnie are coordinating the reports. Here's the pitch, a strike call.
Well, in those 18 games against the Mets, Harry, the Met fans saw a whole face full of Sandberg and Matthews, and they're getting it again here tonight. I don't think they're too happy in Shea Stadium right now.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, a runner at second base. McWilliams ready, the pitch on the way. Hey, there's his 100th walk of the year. The first Cub since 1960 to get 100 walks in the season. Richie Ashburn did it as a member of the Cubs in 1960.
I think he wants the ball. He wants to put that ball in his trophy case. That's likely to be the first time that Matthews has walked 100 times. That's quite an accomplishment, especially for a man who does swing as aggressively as Gary Matthews. To have the patience to take 100 walks really helps the ball club ahead of the 4th and 5th hitters.
Carl Oderness, a Cub fan, is here. Here now is Moreland. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Time is called. Now the pitch. Strike call. Barbara and Joe Van Schouwen from South Holland, Illinois, Steve Trout's hometown, here to cheer the Cubs on. There's the ball bunted beautifully. The throw to third. Wow! Here's one run going to score. Here's Matthews going to third. And Moreland winds up at second. It'll be an error on Morrison on the throw. They may give Moreland a hit, a perfect bunt.
They took advantage of the defensive deficiencies of Jim Morrison. He's filling in at third for Bill Madlock, and he's not known as a glove man. He fields it well and throws it behind both Moreland and Jason Thompson. No play at all for Thompson, and the Cubs go up 3-0, have 2 runners in scoring position, and the Penguin up.
The Penguin singled his first time at bat.
No word yet from the official score. It looked to me like it might have been a hit and an error.
Now ready, they give him a hit, all right. And an error on Morrison. That's the 3rd error already for the Pirates. A run scored, Sandberg. Runners at second and third, the infield comes in. 3-0 Cubs. There's a strike card. Tonight's the night. They'll be dancing in the streets everywhere if the Cubs hold this lead, regardless of what the Mets do.
Jim Wynn warming up in the bullpen for Pittsburgh.
1 ball, 1 strike. Now the pitch. There's a drive. this curving foul. Hey, Steve, you can tell that Jack Brickhouse is not accustomed to being around winning teams. Look how he's dressed. He walks into the clubhouse dressed like that. There goes the $600 suit, the $50 shirt, the $100 tie.
You know, you're right. I hadn't thought about that, Harry. Well, you only missed the cost of the coat by about, you know. You like the coat? You really like it?
No, it's too big for me.
It was the $2 tie that you were missing.
Say he goes down swinging.
You like the coat, Harry? I got 2. The guy didn't have change for a 20.
Here's Jody Davis. Runners still at second and third with the infield in. Say closing in on the 100 RBI mark at 96. Missed a great opportunity right here. Here's Jody. Fouls it off. 1 strike to nothing. William Sigmund from Indianapolis.
This is a big at bat for the Cubs because they'll probably walk Leon Durham to get to Boa if McWilliams can get by Jody Davis. It's up to Jody to get another run home.
Here's the pitch. Fastball inside. Phillies have just scored another run. They're still batting in the top of the third. The Mets lead now is cut to 4-3, just 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Infield in. Inside, ball 2. Tom and Suzanne Welsh are here to pull for the Cubs. They have relatives back home in Chicago. 2 balls and a strike.
Harry, to most of these Cub players who have been with the Cubs only a few years, this is going to be one of the finest nights of their life. But for Cub fans who've been cheering this club for 30 and 40 years, this has to be a thrilling moment.
2 balls and a strike. Foul back, and a good pitch to hit that time. Earl E. Daly is here with a group. Phillies trailing by a run. Have runners at second and third with 1 out up at Chase Stadium. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Whoa, he takes the fastball again. Strike 3, that's 2 times in a row. I think each time Jody's been waiting for that slider or curveball, and McWilliams has simply fooled him.
You've got to realize when you go to the plate that you're going to have a little bit bigger plate than usual. Watch this pitch. It probably is a few inches inside. It looks to be about 3 or 4 inches inside, but Lee Weyer once again has been a good pitcher's umpire since the day he came into this league, and you've got to realize that and just go up there swinging.
They're going to walk Durham intentionally now to get to Boa. Boa's a better hitter right-handed than left-handed, so he could deliver here. Kevin Seapak from Schererville, Indiana is here with his wife Linda. Oh, his wife Linda's at home. Three balls, no strikes. There's the 4th pitch going intentionally outside. Boy, McWilliams, I thought he might balk there for a moment. That'd be something if you balk while giving an intentional pass. Screwy things like that have happened.
Larry Bowa's got that batting average up to 220. Pretty hard to do this time of year, but he has been stinging the ball lately. And I think Tony Pena is going out there to talk to him and tell him not to take this guy for granted right-handed, because he does have some power. And that's really shown in where Joe Orsulak is playing him in center field. And Lee Lacy a little bit deeper than he usually would play Larry in left.
Here's Larry Bowa with the bases loaded. A blow here. He can start drinking the champagne, or the Budweiser, or whatever. 1 ball, no strikes. Fred and Bernie Greasy with their neighbors Bill and Joyce Louthan from Lombard, Illinois, drove in today for this game. 1 ball, no strikes. Curveball or a slider inside.
Remember, sometimes after an intentional walk, the pitcher will walk the next hitter. Why that is, I don't know. Sometimes you relax or you just get out of the habit of throwing the ball over the plate.
I don't think Larry will give him a chance. He'd probably jump on this pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. He swung and he fouled it back. Mike Schmidt trying to score after the catch on a fly ball that Danny Heap was thrown out at the plate. So the Mets still lead 4-3 in the 3rd inning at Shea Stadium. Time is called. Boa steps out of the batter's box. There's a high fly ball. Lacy back. That'll be easy. Near the warning track. Boa flies out. Only 1 run out of all that. 2 hits, 1 error, 3 left. We go into the bottom of the 3rd. 3-0. The Cubs are leading. Harry Carey back in Pittsburgh. We go into the bottom of the 3rd. Doug Frobel leading it off. Rick Sutcliffe is retired. 6 men in a row. There's a strike call.
Frobel not too happy with that call. He's looking at the outside corner going, it's a little bit wide tonight, Lee.
0-1 the count. The pitch. Fouled it back. Joe and Mary Allegretti and their family are here from Rolling Prairie, Indiana, to help the Cubs clinch the pennant, their note says. Now ready? A little bit low. Look at that, covering up the lockers in the Cubs dressing room so their street clothes will not be damaged by the whatever happens. Here's the pitch. High pop foul. See, Yosh Kawana thinks of everything.
Frobel's not wearing any contacts tonight. This is the continuing saga of the contact case. He wore 1 in Wrigley Field, then he didn't wear any, then he wore 2. Now he says he's going to put them away for the rest of the year. Wise choice.
The pitch. Struck him out. 2nd strikeout, 7th in a row. Wayne Deviley, a Chicago Cub fan, is here.
Chuck Tanner was used to shifting around a lineup, and he's had to do that with Berra out of the lineup. Wodas, normally a second baseman, has had to play shortstop. Al Monchak, the infield coach, has been working with him.
Here's the pitch, and it's a strike call to Ron Wotas, hitting .209 with no homers and 2 RBIs. Salita Mikesell and her husband Jim, who have an antique shop near here. Great Cub fans from Fairfax, Virginia. 1 out, nobody on. Boy, they're here from everywhere to be on hand for the Cubs kill. Line foul outside first. Val, Emma, and Deji Duggins from South Whitley, Indiana, and from Silver Lake, Indiana, the Clark family are here. And look at that, Yosh, 50 years with the Cubs. Finally with a winner. 1945, he was in service and he missed it.
And now look at him, sitting on his laurels.
In 1945, Jack, you were in Chicago, but you weren't with him.
I could open the door during those Sox games and listen up the street and hear the Cubs winning the pennant, Harry.
He swings and he misses, striking out. Wodas goes down swinging. Who did the Cubs that year that you went to the White Sox?
God rest his soul, Bert Wilson.
Oh, I see. It didn't take you long to see the error of your ways, did it?
Well, I had worked several years of Cub games before that, but WGN Radio at that time gave up baseball.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so that's why Bert stayed with the Cubs.
Maybe I should ask you, who in the world was the dumb manager of that station in those days?
Well, there's a long story there. I won't bore you with it right now.
Here's the pitch. He tried to bunt his way on, McWilliams did, and he's in the hole 0-2. 2 out. Nobody on. They're here from Michigan City, Indiana. Joe Shin and a group. Well, I'm going to mention every one of these groups. Here's a pitch low and outside. No matter how long, anybody that could go and drive as many miles as they had to drive, an 8-hour drive, to get here when they realized yesterday that they had a chance to clinch it tonight, deserves to have their name mentioned. Here's a pitch grounded right back to Sutcliffe. He's got it. Over to first. 9 in a row. Retired by the Red Baron.
18 left, Harry.
Yeah, nothing across. Milo will be joining Jack and Steve here in a moment. I'm going to head over to the radio for a while. Harry Carey from Three Rivers Stadium at the end of 3. The Cubs are leading 3-0.
Why not give the Pittsburgh?
We go to the 4th inning, and so far, so good. 6 innings left to see if he can nail it down. Milo Hamilton joining Steve Stone here, and nice to be back in the booth with the old pal Jack Brickhouse. And I tell you, the way Sutcliffe's going, he might not even give up a hit, let alone a run. What do you think?
Oh,
he's really got good stuff, hasn't he?
You're thrilling him tonight in Fairfield, Iowa, aren't you?
I don't care about that. I just want this club to win. I hope I've got a few years left to handle that. Larry McWilliams has fallen behind in this game as he faces Sutcliffe. Oh, a good leaping stab of a line drive by Jimmy Morrison.
I don't think Sutcliffe realized he hit that ball fair. He just stood in the batter's box, and Morrison pulled that one down. Gets jammed with a fastball. There you can see him. He's still in the batter's box. Nice play by Morrison, who's made a couple of errors. Now watch Sutcliffe on this. He turns around. There he goes.
Yeah, I think he thought it was going to slice and be a foul, and Morrison wouldn't catch it, but Jimmy really made a nice effort. Uh-oh. Bobby Denier tonight has bounced to short twice, once for an out to begin the game, and then a double play in the 2nd inning.
Wanted all of you young hitters to see how Dernier moved on that pitch. His first move was away from the pitch.
Bouncer short. He ought to try somebody else. Wotus has gotten him all 3 times. 2 up and 2 down here as the Cubs bat in the 4th inning. I can't imagine anybody joining us late for one reason or another, but it is a possibility. I'd love to think that everybody hears every instant. But in the 1st inning, Matthews drove in Sandberg 1-0. 2nd inning, Sutcliffe drove in Boa 2-0. 3rd inning, Sandberg scored on an error 3-0. McWilliams working, and strike call to Rhino, who's had 2 doubles here tonight, scored twice. I'd like to see him get a triple here tonight. Looks like he's headed for that 200 hits now. It's 194. To have the privilege of being the first big leaguer ever. Can you imagine the territory that encompasses when you say the first big league player ever to get 20 doubles, triples, homers, stolen bases, and 200 hits?
Fantastic, Milo. Incidentally, I'd like to see him get that triple for another reason. He stole home against this ball club last year one day, remember?
That's right. This is a good park for him to get that triple into. This is a triple park. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody on, 2 away. Good cut, and he fouls it off.
Milo, the park before at 2 Forbes Field, as you recall, was a great triples park too, wasn't it?
That was a field that if a guy could play the outfield like a Clemente, he could play it like a violin, and he did. One of the big thrills in that park, he'd disappear in that right field bullpen, and here'd come the ball, and the guy'd be out at 2nd. Bouncer, 3rd baseman, Morrison throws, and he got him. And McWilliams, who had staggered in the first 3, has a 1-2-3-4. So we're in the middle of the 4th inning. The Cubs trying to nail it down tonight, are leading 3-0. Go to the 4th inning. for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are 9 up and 9 down to Sutcliffe. And the Philadelphia Phillies, who were down to the Mets at one time 4-1, have tied them 4-4. And they've just flashed it on the big board here, and a predominantly Cub fan reacts to that. Well, why not get it from both ends? Win it yourself and let the Mets drop one, and then you know it's over. Nobody can ask for a recount.
Well, I think to a man, they want to win this one and forget what the Mets are doing.
You're right.
Then they won't have to look at that board the rest of this season.
This is Joe Ursulak. Bouncer, bounce under the glove of Durham. Well, he's going to try for 2. He will make it. He may try for 3. The ball got away from Moreland, and Ursulak will end up at third base. That was one of those carpet dirt hits that gives you that crazy bounce, and it really gave Durham a bad bounce.
What happens when the ball hits the dirt, it flattens out. Leon would have had this ball, but you'll see what happens right here. Hits the dirt, just flattens out and speeds up a little bit under his glove. And then Keith Moreland has all kinds of problems in the corner. He smashes against the fence. Ursulak goes for 3, his first triple of the year.
Yeah, you know, they could have scored that as a double because he stopped. There was no doubt about it. They have given it a 3-base hit, however. And the pitch to Lacy. A strike. Well, he burned off the corner on him that time with a good breaking ball. Sutcliffe has had a good off-speed pitch here tonight on 2 or 3 occasions. Used it for a strikeout a couple of times and got McWilliams to bounce back to him with another one. That one missed, and it's a ball. 1-1 to Lacy, who was called out on strikes in the first inning. Lee Lacy has had a fine year for himself after really not knowing where he was going to play or how often or what outfield. 1 ball, 1 strike. Got that corner again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That triple, by the way, gave young Joe Ursulak a 7-game hitting streak.
Sutcliffe can take advantage of the wide corners by keeping one away from Lacy right here. If he throws it just off the plate, he's got a good chance at striking him out.
1-2. Fouled it way out of play up to the right side. You've talked about it before, I know, but Wire is consistently a pitcher's umpire, isn't he?
Certainly has the wide plate, and he's shown it again here tonight.
Ask Jody. Got caught looking a couple times. He thought they were inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, he really thundered up on one, but it sailed on him, and it's 2-2. After the game, of course, if this keeps up, you'll join in the festivities in the Chicago Cubs clubhouse. Yosh Kiwanis says 39 years is long enough for me to wait for this. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just missed. He wanted that outside corner call and didn't get it.
Toughest part about that clubhouse celebration is they always have 2 different types of champagne. And I hope they don't drink the sprayable and spray the drinkable, because they usually save the good stuff for afterward, after all the exuberance.
All right, let's see what he does with a 3-2. Ursulak at third, nobody out. Payoff. He got him. Second time that Lacy has struck out, and strikeout number 4 recorded for Sutcliffe. Let's look at this strikeout.
It's not a strike, but Lacy with a 3-2 count gets a little less selective than he normally would be. It's a good breaking ball, and this is a difficult man to strike out coming up now. Lee Lacy is a free swinger, but Johnny Ray just tries to make contact. The infield is back all the way around, conceding the run, except if it's hit at Ron Say.
All right, there's your infield. Shortstop, second baseman back. High inside the ball. Ray is another one of their hitters who is tough with men on.
It's because he doesn't overswing. He just tries to make contact and hit the ball where it's pitched. He always has a very low total of strikeouts every season.
Fouled way down the left side, and just coming off of a week where he was the National League Player of the Week. they're going to see that your good suit isn't ruined in that locker. Pretty hard to ruin blue jeans, isn't it? I don't think anybody wore any good stuff today. 1-1. Hit him on the fist. Bouncer to second. The run will score. Sandberg will throw out Ray. Orsulek scores, and the Pirates get on the board.
That's a pitch that not many hitters would be able to fight off. He hits it right off the thumbs. Is able to make contact, however, and that's his 64th RBI. Sandberg makes the play easily, but the Pirates cut the lead to 3-1.
Well, I'll tell you what a job he's done on the Cubs. That's his 15th run batted in against the Cubs. He's averaging an RBI a game against Chicago pitching. So it's a 3-1 ball game. Chicago 2 away, and Jason Thompson the batter. Sutcliffe working with a 2-run lead now. Bounced it up there, no harm.
You were here for a lot of years, Milo. Newspapers are strange in this town. I was reading the sport page today. I saw an ad right next to the sport page for Ted McWilliams. It's like seeing one for Walt McDisney.
Well, as long as they sent their check. That's a strike.
Jason's not having a particularly good year for him, but he is hitting the Cubs pretty well. .310 coming in. And the Pirates have hit the Cubs pitching well, especially Johnny Ray and Tony Pena.
And that's a ball. You know, Thompson went on a home run jag in that one series against us, and 5 of his home runs are against the Cubs. And he can take you to any field. Hits a lot of left center field home runs. Just a bit outside, and it is 3-1 to Jason Thompson.
Many people here in Pittsburgh feel that Jason Thompson is going to be on the block this winter. They're going to use him along with the pitcher to bring back a power hitting outfielder or first baseman.
3-1 to Thompson. Foul back, out of play, 3-2. Let's see if he can come back and get him. A lot of Cub fans here. A lot of them drove all night to come over. I can tell you one thing, if we stretched it a little saying that the Cub fans outnumbered the Cardinal fans in St. Louis, you're not exaggerating if you say tonight that the Cub fans are outnumbering the Pirate fans in this crowd. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sutcliffe working with a 2-run lead as he tries to become a 20-game winner. That'll do it on a foul tip. 2 strikeouts in the inning. 5 strikeouts in the game for Sutcliffe. The Pirates make a dent. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors, nobody left. We played 4 innings. Sutcliffe and the Cubs trying to do it tonight. They lead 3-1. There's the Rainbow Man, who did a fabulous job yesterday. I tell you, the job he's done and been nurtured along by Jim Fry and Billy Connors. Had his best year, and he pitched a great game yesterday.
I had dinner with him last night, and I said, that was the biggest game of your life. And he said, well, I'm not so sure. I said, name one bigger. I haven't heard from him yet.
1 ball, no strikes to Matthews. 1-1. John Denny just walked in a run, and the Mets have gone back in front of the Phillies 5-4 in the middle innings. High foul, out of play to the right. Jack, do you want to refresh the fans' memory on the day that you and I did 19 innings here today, and I did most of it?
Oh, we were talking about that before the game, Steve. It was really something.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
It was right in front of the All-Star game a few years ago. And the only 2 guys in the whole field that were going to go to the All-Star game were Parker of Pittsburgh and Suter with the Chicago Cubs. So we got the brainstorm, put him on the 10th inning. So I went down to the 8th inning to be ready for him after the game. And 10 innings later, Milo was still up here during a ball game. And I was sitting down there in that photographer's area waiting for this crazy game to get over. Finally went 19 innings before we finally got out of there. And I'm going to tell you something. That was some marathon.
Yes, it was. Oh, he walked him again. So Sarge can start on his second 100 with that one.
Truly amazing that he's been able to show that much patience. I saw him as a kid coming up in the San Francisco Giant farm system, and he swung at everything. Then all of a sudden, as the years go by, he becomes more selective. 100 walks is quite an achievement.
Well, the message board as the Pirates welcome the Chicago Cub fans here tonight. And the Cub fans respond. Well, I tell you, if I was drawing what they're drawing here and had the attendance swelled by the Cub fans here tonight, I'd salute them too.
I'd insist that someone clinch a pennant here every year.
Moreland, 1 for 2. Had a base hit in the third inning. Runner going. Fouled up to the right. The run and hit was on. Moreland tried to protect him. Went after a pitch that was up and in, and the Sarge will retrace his steps. Von Hayes is circling the bases. He's hit a home run, and the Phillies have tied the Mets 5-5. Would have gotten you that sooner, but he wasn't to second base yet.
I'm not even at the game, but I'd have to take Denny out and put in a reliever. 5 runs already. Go to the pen.
They took Terrell out in Gorman's first relief pitch. Von Hayes jacked it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I wonder if Arnie ever thought of doing play-by-play. He's giving it right to us. He's in direct contact with the ball game there. Any guy that could do all those Globetrotter games could handle it. Handle the PA. He was also the dribbler. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That is through the right side for a base hit. Runners first and second. So Moreland, who had a 4 for 4 in the first game yesterday, gets his second hit of this game. And we got to start capitalizing with these innings with all this traffic and put some more on the board.
The Cubs have 8 hits. They've only got 3 runs, and they want to take McWilliams out of this one right now if they can. Pittsburgh doesn't have anybody up in their bullpen now. Matthews could not advance because that ball was hit very close to him. He had to wait to let the ball go through. So all he could get was second base.
Here's the Penguin 1 for 2. The key to McWilliams surviving as long as he has was when he got Say and Davis striking out in the third with 2 men in scoring position.
Now the Pirate bullpen is busy. There's Jim Wynn one more time. That's the 3rd time he's been up tonight.
Yeah, he's pitched a ball game in the pen. Matthews second, Moreland first. A walk and a single putting them on. There's nobody out. Lined into left. That will drop. The bases will be loaded. Now that was a jug-handle line drive. Sarge couldn't come hard all the way for fear the left fielder Lacey would come on and catch it.
Zimmer almost threw his arm out trying to hold him up there.
There's no sense getting doubled off. Matthews, a good base runner, realizes he's going to make third base. And there you see the Sarge. The base is loaded, nobody out. Jody Davis comes to bat. And this is the inning when they could go a long way toward drinking that champagne.
Jody has been up twice and looked at strike 3 called each time. This is the spot to change that pattern. A Cub on every base. There's nobody out. A fly ball could get you a run. A base hit could get you a couple. Swing and a tap foul left side. Strike 1 to Jody. Durham due up next.
One thing about that infield that Chuck Tanner has in there tonight, they really don't execute all that well. The Cubs have taken advantage of it thus far. The Pirates have made 3 errors, so don't look for any defensive heroics tonight.
No balls and a strike. Jody with a chance to bust it loose. Bouncer second. That's a double play ball. They turn it, and while they do, Matthews crosses with another Cub run. 463 on the twin kill.
This one is tailor-made. Jody tries to take the fastball the other way, and Wotus comes across, makes a nice throw. No way in the world for Ron Say to get any piece of Ron Wotus.
4-1. The Cubs have their 3-run lead back.
I guess you can say he was in the Wotus position.
No, you could say it.
I've been waiting all night for that.
You had it
Should've waited
down,
longer,
and
huh?
you were going to get it in. Bouncer first, and McWilliams has dodged another bullet, giving up only 1 run. Oh, he's been in trouble every inning but one. 1 run, 2 hits and a walk, no errors and a man left. We have played into the middle of this one as the Cub bench. They're not as relaxed as they look, folks, but they are in front 4-1. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Sutcliffe is out there again with a 3-run lead in a 4-1 game. He'll be looking at Tony Pena, Jim Morrison, and Doug Frobel. Doug Jones from Batavia, Linda Davis from Joliet, part of the group coming over to see the Cubs. Tony Pena popped up to Durham in the 2nd inning. The Cubs, as Chuck Tanner looks on, 5 years ago his club won it all.
And it seems like day before yesterday he was a Cub. Actually, it was 57 and 58.
Yeah, it was almost yesterday. Everything is relative. And there's the skipper trying to win another pennant. He did it with Kansas City. Wouldn't it be something if Kansas City won it and the Cubs won it and they met? That's a strike. Well, the fellow who helped get the record together for Keith Moreland and Jody and the guys that they are selling and raising money for charity, Paulie Gallis, our old pal, and his wife Jeannie celebrating a 24th wedding anniversary as they watch tonight.
Paul Gallis?
Yeah, you know Paulie.
Whoa, the beach ball? Sure.
Whoa.
Huh?
You remember Jack, Paul. You remember. Yeah, Paulie Gallis. So he helped the guys get it together. I hope it does well, because some charity is going to end up with some nice donations. That could go up the middle, but Boa's going to get it. Boa throws, and he got him. And Pena pulled up lame.
Looks like he might have pulled a hamstring. He got out of the box badly, and about halfway down he just pulled up. So what looked like it was going to be a very difficult play for Larry Boa turns into an easy one. And now the only thing left is concern over Tony Pena. What a big loss that would be. Let's watch it one more time. Pena still hasn't gotten back to the dugout.
Well, if it's going to happen, this is the time for it to happen to him, because they're not going anywhere, and he's got all winter to get well. If that had happened to him in April or May and he'd popped that baby, as aggressive as he is, he'd be a tough guy to make sit down with a hamstring. But you've just got to do. There's no cure for it except rest, is there?
Once you tear it, if you try to come back too early, you're looking at 6 weeks to 2 months. One of the real tough injuries in the game.
And that's an injury that a trainer wants to look you right in the eye, and you better tell him how it is. He doesn't want any, I'm going to get it out. He wants that hamstring to really heal before he lets you back in there.
Well, you remember Leon Durham last year was out for 5 or 6 days. Thought it was just a twinge. First time he ran, he pulled it again.
That's a foul. I have not been down close enough. I'm sure you have, being on the mound or either being a base runner or even in a dugout. I've heard guys say when they really tear it, it sounds like a gun going off. 2 balls and a strike. That's a ball.
You can hear it, both that and the Achilles tendon. You hear a pop, and after that, there's not much left.
Well, you've talked about the two that they fear the most.
Well, the Achilles tendon is automatic surgery, and the hamstring is just a lot of time off and a long healing process. But that's one of the things that the Cubs have really been able to avoid. They go on extensive stretching programs, not only in spring training, but all during the course of the season. And they've had relatively few leg problems this year.
3 balls and a strike to Morrison. Fouled it off, 3-2. Mets are batting in the 5th inning. Score tied with the Phillies, 5-5. Here, the Cubs are leading 4-1. Sutcliffe trying to put another notch in his belt, not only to win 20, but try to win that Cy Young. Milo Hamilton with Steve Stone and Jack Brickhouse along with us tonight up in the TV booth on WGN Television 9 in Chicago, Chicago's very own and America's #1 sports station. And if the Cubs hang on tonight, the news will follow. A long celebration on Channel 9. So the news crew don't get ready yet. A let up right to the Penguin. 2 away. Took something off to get Morrison.
Got a note here that says, say hello to the Corey family. Steve, Mel, and Seth. Says something about being the Diet Kings of Scottsdale.
Well, then they know the spot to go, don't they? Stevens, of course.
Another small portion joke, huh?
Do you think that Jack Brickhouse will join us tomorrow noon for lunch at Poli's?
I think it's great of Larry to volunteer a flinching
how about
celebration.
tonight, fellas, after the celebration?
Because he won't be open. Plus, it's Monday, and he's closed on Monday.
That's no excuse. We're in town, and the Cubs are winning.
Arnie says we ought to go over to his house. A ball and a strike. Sutcliffe working with 2 away and nobody on. Froebel was called out on strikes in the 3rd inning. 1 of 5 strikeouts recorded by Sutcliffe, who hasn't walked anybody, has given up just 1 hit, has led since the opening inning, and right now that big right-hander's leading 4-1. Good breaking ball. He fouled it off. Sutcliffe, as far off as he was the other day when he pitched against this club, he's right back in his groove tonight.
He throws a high fastball on the outer portion of Doug Froebel. He'll strike him out right here. Doesn't even have to throw it over the plate.
2-2 with 2 down. And it's a full count. The Brants from Kankakee are on their honeymoon. They were in the Poconos. They said, if we're this close, let's go see our Cubbies. Got enough of it to foul it off and stay alive.
John Candelaria wants to say hello to the Terescos back in Chicago.
Oh, the Candyman, the reliever of the Pirates now. Relieved again yesterday, got another save.
He said he's thrown 4 days in a row, and he doesn't know how long he can do it, but he said he'd love to do it in the bullpen for the Cubs next year. He says teamed up with Lee Smith, that would be an unbeatable combination.
Oh, my goodness. A comebacker, and the big, tall right-hander was able to handle it. 3 up and 3 down. Anybody shorter wouldn't have gotten it. We have played through 5, and that big guy right there who has turned this club around is trying to get the big win. The Cubs are leading 4-1.